Welcome to Comic Kick, where you get your weekly kick of comics. I'm Jacob Knight with the Geek Press, and I'm currently here broadcasting from the room where Marvel Studios plans their destruction of every person who's ever made a Mephisto theory about the MCU. Because we are tired of him, gotta admit their way. I don't know if Mephisto's coming, but y'all need to relax. Like, chile. So, if you've been watching this channel for a minute or keeping up with any of the videos, you would know that we've done an episode on not only the Hellfire Gala, which is the latest X-Men comic book event, as well as the upcoming event, the Trial of Magneto, which is spinning directly out of that. Now, at both of these times, one just being a fashion review and the other one just being sort of an overview of the event, new information has come to light. Wanda's dead. She dead, y'all. The premise of the Trial of Magneto is that apparently he is either going to be incredibly involved or he is the main suspect in the death of his former daughter, which I think is very interesting. There's a lot of theories rolling around on the interwebs about whether or not this is all part of Magneto's plan, or if this is an enemy of him or Wanda's, or perhaps somebody trying to cause an international incident and blaming it on a mutant. It's just, there's a lot of theories out there, and I don't know if any of them are gonna actually reflect upon the story itself, but it's fun to theorize. But before we theorize, I thought it'd be fun to just kind of examine where Wanda is in the Marvel Universe for just a second. Now, for several years, Wanda was thought of alongside her brother as the child of Magneto. This is something that was in the comics as well as a few iterations of cartoon shows, and it's just something that a lot of fans really enjoyed. So when Age of Ultron came out and they had no connection to any sort of mutantdom, and in 2015-14 when they were kind of retconned to just be enhanced humans and not mutants, many people were upset. And as a modern day X-Men fan, it could probably be even more upsetting because all mutants have sort of this safety line if anything bad happens to them. And what do I mean by a safety line? Well, if you haven't been reading any X-Men comics, you would not know that the X-Men have their own island called Krakoa, where everyone lives. Good, bad, evil, morally gray. They got all the colors of goodness and evil in there. And they are keeping backups of their brains. They are collecting everyone's genetic information. So basically, if you die, you're golden, baby. They're gonna resurrect you. You're gonna pop right out of the ground. So every mutant is updated, I think, every week through a network of psychics, and then somebody dies on a mission, they can just resurrect them, which is great for any mutant. Of course, that brings in all kinds of moral quandaries, i.e., what does life have value if you can just be resurrected? What does a soul mean? And in the current Way of X book, they're kind of tackling that. So if you're interested in that subject, pick that up. Since Wanda is no longer a mutant, she is in no way supported by the system. So if she dead, she dead. That's it. Now, of course, this is the comic book world, and people are often brought back, reincarnated, thrown in another alternate reality version of themselves into that reality. It's a whole mishigosh of just nonsense. So she could totally come back. This could all be a fake, but at the end of the day, the story is worth something if it is at least entertaining. So this is all something we're gonna have to place value on after it's done. But if there's something interesting about this, is that Wanda in mutant kind is kind of vilified. We can look at X-Men number 7, where it's shown that Wanda is known as the Great Pretender, someone who has kind of almost built up this mythological role in Krakoan society where she is a great enemy of mutantdom. And if you don't know why she would be considered an entity, we'll throw it back to the 2000s, where she, due to her own psychotic break and the pushings, machinations of Doctor Doom, kind of depowered a lot of mutants when she kind of freaked out. So many mutants don't care for Wanda. They hate her. They had the thing that they felt made them taken away from them. And in most iterations of the character, Wanda is usually very remorseful. She feels terrible for what she's done, and she's tried to make amends. In fact, as of recently of last year during the event Empire, she went to an island and tried to resurrect a bunch of mutants, and it did not turn out well, but She tried. And it's this whole political thing when you bring in Magneto, who's one of the rulers of the island, and the fact that he still loves her. It was revealed at one of the last issues, a part of the Hellfire Gala event in Sword, that he invited her to the island's event. He wanted her to be a part of it. In fact, she felt terrible. She felt like she didn't deserve to be there, but he said, it doesn't matter if we're not blood related. I still love you. You're still my daughter. And he gave her a big hug, and it was a really heartwarming moment, especially for those who really enjoyed their father-daughter dynamic and really entertained the idea of them being related and what kind of stories that would come from that. Although you notice that Quicksilver is never mentioned here, like Quicksilver's your son, but Quicksilver's always difficult. That's how I'll put him, difficult. So the fact that Magneto is seemingly going to be blamed for this murder is interesting because he's trying to love and be with his daughter, but at the same time, no one else on Krakoa really knows that because he's not really open about it because she's become such a taboo subject. So who would want to kill Wanda? Anybody, anything. It could be a group of depowered mutants. It could be people trying to cause an international incident. Literally anybody could be wanting to kill her, and that's where sort of the mystery is going to come from. And whether or not this mystery is well executed is something that we're going to have to decide later on. But for now, I think this premise is interesting. Although, if you watched my video about the trial of Magneto, I kind of hate the idea. But now that we've settled into it, I guess I'll give it a chance. I mean, why not? So this feels like the last mini event of this particular age of X-Men as they move forward into another. So what do you think happened to Wanda? Do you think she's really dead? Is it all a trick? Are they going to make her a mutant again through some shenanigans? You think she's ever going to shenanigan? Let me know in the comments. Give me all your theories because I want to theorize. It's kind of the funnest part of this whole thing is what the hell's going to happen. And also, if you're not interested in this at all, why not? What could get you interested in this? Let me know all the things in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you come back next time for another kick of comics. See you later.